My curation was influenced really by the things that I see on a daily basis. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm constantly seeing like, my neighbors and the people that live in my neighborhood. And it's really great to see people out and about and trying to live their life the best way that they can during these really difficult times. And the young designers that I chose are people who I've worked with in the past in whatever capacity or maybe I just, there's a thing also too where I just admire their designs and I admire their talent. It's something that I've always done very naturally, just as, a stylist and an editor in the past. I just always, I guess, had a huge interest in things that weren't discovered. I love finding things. I like cultivating relationships. I like surprising people. I like doing things that are different and that other people wouldn't do in my work. All of these brands that are working and collaborating with my portion of Black space are important to me. Again, because I've known them for a certain amount of time or work with them in different capacities. I respect them all very well. I know that they're all going to do well regardless of whether we were doing this project or not, because their talent speaks for themselves. I'm also a customer. These are brands that I support and wear and purchase on my own, without them even knowing necessarily that I've supported them in the past. Like obviously when you pull clothes from them, they know what you're doing. But these are also brands that like I wear Darryl Brown's t-shirts at least twice a week. It's my favorite, one of my favorite t-shirts. This partnership means a lot to me because it's very similar to the way I came to be where I am in this industry. And so it means a lot for me to work with people in this capacity because, I too was someone who needed assistance and help at a certain point in my career. A lot of people are just in the field learning. But there's certain things that as a Black man, as a Black person, that, you can only learn from experience, especially in this industry. And I know that, I wouldn't be here today if someone didn't help me. So therefore it's my obligation to help other people along the way. So this is just an extension of that. Personally, I dress kind of with comfort in mind, which has kind of always been the case. And I don't mean that in the sense of like always wearing a t-shirt and a hoodie, but like, I'm really big on knits and I'm really big on like Levi's that I had since high school. So my style hasn't really changed so much. There's certain days where I want to go a little bit crazier than others, but it's pretty basic. And I don't think there's a problem with that. I think that when you kind of reverse the question and ask why there's misconceptions about Black people and Black designers in fashion, then I think therein starts a larger conversation, which is slightly being had at the moment, but not really. But really, it's to address like the blatant kind of um, roadblocks and stipulations that are put in front of certain designers over others. I do think that these type of partnerships makes sense when the intent is to not only do something that spotlights these creatives, but also is supporting them and has a long-term strategy attached to that support. Because, buying a collection one season is great, but buying it across 4 different seasons is even better. Doing special drops with them, working with these designers to cultivate and curate, a buy that's appropriate for your customer, that's things that younger designers can do very easily because they have the flexibility and they're very willing to do that. But I think oftentimes what happens is that there's this launch and there's this big exciting moment and everyone talks about it. There's a lot of press, and then after that, you don't hear anything about it because it's just for press and it's just for optics. So it's really important that the support lasts not just for the launch, it happens over the course of time. If you truly want to change the narrative and change, the course of how this industry should function. I'm going to make sure that everybody that participates in this partnership that signed on because of me, I'm going to make sure that they get everything that they need from this partnership and more, because for me, this is just one step in a series of things that should happen for these brands. So this is where the work starts, and to be continued of what happens after.